attendees. Well, I did run about it. I see what you mean, though. It's time to get this grays washed out. Wait, right, this corner. High school leadership.
Thank you.
Councilmember Wilson. Present. Councilmember Kramer.
Here.
Mayor Slotin.
Here.
And Councilmember Hooton and Vice Mayor Downey are excused absent.
All right. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excuse me, could please stay stand, please, for a minute, for invocation here. Thank you.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful spring weather we have been enjoying over the last couple of weeks. And as we enter summer, Father, there are many festivals and celebrations, especially beginning with Memorial Day this weekend. We ask, Father, for your blessing upon all of these festivals around the lake, that they will be fun, they will be safe, Father, and they also will be lucrative for the communities and for the people participating in them. Father, we ask your blessing upon the graduates as they're getting ready from both the college and the high school. Lord, bless them as they are moving on to another part of their lives, and that you will guide them and lead them. We ask your protection over our community, Father, over the first responders in Lake County. Lord, just we lift them up to you. We ask your protection, your blessing. Lord, we ask your blessing and protection from any fires, Lord, that, Lord, you will be there and your hand will be upon our community. We thank you, Father, for these public servants, for the city council, and for everybody involved in doing the business of the city. We ask your wisdom and your insight and your grace be upon them. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, some housekeeping items. All items on the agenda are open for public comment before final action is taken. Citizens wishing to introduce written materials into the record at the public meeting or on any item are requested to provide a copy of the material to the Administrative Service Director, City Clerk, prior to the meeting date, so the material may be distributed to the City Council prior to the meeting. Speakers must restrict comments to the items as it appeared on the agenda and stay within 3 minutes time limit. The mayor has the discretion of limiting the total discussion for an item. The council cannot answer questions or provide comment while a citizen is giving their public comment. Once your comments are complete, the mayor may refer you to staff for follow-up. If you're on Zoom, please note that only written comments will be taken via Zoom using the Q&A section. Chat feature, please enter your comments into the Q&A set. We'll have adoption of the agenda. Do we have any changes to the agenda? Mr. Clark?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we're gonna need to pull item number 10, the Dam Road Roundabout. There's still some paperwork that the state, we're working with the state on, so it's not gonna be ready tonight.
All right, can I have a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
Go ahead. We can vote in our portal.
Motion passes with unanimous vote of the council.
Now to presentations. First one is May Adoptable Dogs. We have some of the statistics were handed out to us. But first we have an adoptable dog.
Good evening, council. Louder. You're gonna come in the front here?
Yeah.
Okay, our adoptable dog of the month is Auntie Chula. We've always just called her Auntie because she came from a property with multiple dogs, and there was a grandma, and she was the daughter, cousin, auntie. So she's a female terrier mix, about 2 years old. And she is the soft-spoken sweetheart of the shelter, gentle, quiet, and just waiting for someone to notice how special she is. She's clearly had a home once, and she's more than ready to trade kennel life for cozy blankets, kind hands, and a couch to call her own. Sweet Auntie Chula isn't looking for much, just a second chance and someone who loves a low drama, big-hearted girl. She's spent time with our trainer, Canine Constitutional, and she integrated well with all dogs there, puppies, other adults, and had a good time. We don't know about cats, but we don't test for cats. Okay. If you'd like to meet Auntie Chula, you can come down to the shelter anytime. 6820 Old Highway 53. We're open to the public Tuesday through Saturday, noon to 5 p.m. Okay, and then moving on to statistics. I gave you guys the year-to-date, February 8th to date. So you have those totals, but I'm just going to give from the last meeting to today for the public. So for intakes, 51 dogs and 24 cats, 1 bearded dragon. Outcomes for dogs, 57 left the shelter, 24 were transferred out, 6 returned to owner, 9 adoptions, and 17 euthanized. For cats, no good news there. 1 died in care and 4 euthanized for medical reasons. We have 51 dogs on site, 11 are puppies under 3 months old, 25 dogs in foster care. We have 22 cats on site, 10 are kittens, and 16 cats in foster care.
Just a question, how did you get to deal with a bearded dragon?
We actually didn't get it at the shelter, but it was abandoned at one of the veterinarian offices. So essentially we would take it. It was dehydrated and really cold when they got it. So they provided supportive care, and the next morning it had passed away. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Any other? Councilman Kramer, you look like you're ready to ask something.
Well, I'm just trying to study a couple of these things.
And remember, you have year to date. Do you want the monthly? I have one copy.
Yes, please.
It's gonna fall.
So. I think it was 51 new dogs. 51 new dogs came in. From. Kind of. Okay, they came, how did they come in? Litter?
Okay, if we're having a conversation, Charmaine, you really need to come back
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
microphone, so.
Yeah. Oh, all right, here.
Categories on there. It breaks it down off to the side where it says stray, surrender, transferred.
Okay. Stray, so you had 46 strays
Mhm.
that were picked up on streets?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Any litters?
Yeah, some of those are litters.
Okay, so a big part of the 46 were litters, or? I don't know.
Probably.
She mentioned earlier there were 11 puppies that was in the numbers.
Pardon me?
She mentioned earlier there were 11 puppies in the number.
Okay,
At the shelter now.
at the shelter now.
We had quite a few puppies come through.
Oh. Okay. So. I'm sorry, I need to read this a little bit closer. Yeah, 57 total dogs now in the shelter. That's the number at the bottom of this outcome.
51 dogs on site. 57 dogs left the shelter.
Okay,
That's outcomes.
quite a few euthanized.
Hmm?
Quite a few euthanized.
Yeah. For the month, I have that broken down. So 14 were behavior or quality of life, and 3 were medical.
Okay. Where are we gonna get ahead of this?
Of course.
All right. All right.
Okay.
That's all I,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, we'll go now to presentation of a proclamation declaring May 17th to the 23rd, 2026 as Public Work Appreciation Week. Rooted in service, powered by community. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are vital of importance to sustainable and resilient communities, to public health, high quality of life, the well-being of the people of Clear Lake. And whereas these infrastructures, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public work professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest of the citizens, civic leaders, and children in Clear Lake to gain knowledge, and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2026 marks the 66th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Clear Lake does hereby designate May 17 to 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week and urges all citizens to join with representative of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to all our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing the quality of life. Signed by me today, May 21st. I think we'll have Addie accept it, or everybody can come up. Come on. Go stand. Did we fit it all in there? All right, thank you. You want to say something there?
Today, I want to take a moment to recognize and thank our Public Works Department. Public Works employees are often the first to respond during emergencies and last to leave when challenges arise. Whether it's repairing roads, cleaning culverts, responding to storms, or collaboration with code enforcement on property cleanups, they show up with professionalism, hard work, and commitment to serving the public. Their work may not always receive the recognition it deserves, but our community benefits from their efforts every single day. We are grateful for their dedication, resilience, and pride in making our city a better place to live.
Thank you.
Can I say that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Aside, saw that firsthand this week. We had a tree, large tree limb break, come down across Rumsey Road. And they were able to get the initial part of it, out, and subsequent to that, another part of the same tree broke and then hung up in the tree, which was a huge hazard. Want to recognize Bo and your crew for coming out there and getting it taken down, taken back to where it's safe on the road now. So thank you so much for that.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll go now to presentations by a Lower Lake High School Youth Leadership Club.
Good evening. My name is Richie Okino. I'm the club advisor for these beautiful young ladies. They're going to come up and share what their project that they did this year.
Hi, my name is Michaela, and I would like to thank you for the opportunity to present today. Underage cannabis use and access to vapes at Lower Lake High School, a community responsibility. In partnership with the California Department of Health, this year, the club has been working on a year-long underage cannabis prevention campaign aimed at shifting social norms and fostering awareness around the harms of underage cannabis use. Next slide, please. Some of you may wonder what Friday Night Live is. It's a youth leadership club where members get to experience the 5 standards of practice, which include a safe environment, opportunities for the community engagement, opportunities for leadership, opportunities to build caring, meaningful relationships with peers and adults, opportunities to engage in interesting and relevant skill building activities. My name is Clea, and I would like to thank you all for the opportunity to be here today. The Stats and Probability teacher at our school has a year-long project where students conduct research and then present the data. The data on this slide is from 3 different group projects from last year. As you can see, the school appears to have active vapors on campus. If anyone wants more information on the project, we can provide that upon request. This data inspired us to conduct our research. Next slide. This slide represents the data our club gathered this year. We went classroom to classroom during both A and B lunches. We asked students to take the anonymous survey, and if they participated, they were given snacks or a drink. We gathered 509 responses. While most representatives recognized potential harms, a substantial amount either denied harm or unsure, highlighting the need for targeted education and awareness campaigns, especially among youth. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sophie. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to be here today. According to SAMHSA.org, cannabis use disorder is dose dependent, meaning the more you use, the easier it is to get addicted. Adolescence, 12 through 25, is a critical brain development period of cannabis disrupts functional and structural brain development. It also impairs memory, attention, and decision-making. It impacts academic and cognitive performance, and earlier and heavier use equals great long-term harm. Social determinants of health affects long-term economic mobility through downward spiral. This is where individuals who develop addiction in their formative years often drop out of school or face career derailment, suppressing their earning potential, which then leads to entrenched poverty. This is when addiction coexists with low SES. It can lock entire families into a cycle of economic instability, hindering upward mobility across generations. Social determinants of health, like income and living conditions, shape the environments people grow up in and directly influence health behaviors. In Lake and Mendocino counties, higher poverty levels are associated with increased risk of substance use, showing that these behaviors are not just individual choices, but are strongly influenced by broader social and economic conditions. Next slide. Family and social environments are key determinants of health because they influence early behaviors and norms. Factors like supervision, household stress, and exposure to substance use at home can normalize these behaviors, increase the likelihood of youth substance use, especially in lower economic settings.
Hi, my name is Alicia, and I would like to thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak. That's my side. Social policies are a major structural determination of health, where stronger regulations can reduce youth exposure and access to substances, while weaker policies can normalize use and make these products easier to obtain. Next slide, please. Each one of you has a scorecard for Lakeport and Clear Lake. As you can see, compared to Lakeport, Clear Lake has weaker cannabis policies, which may contribute to higher youth exposure and access, showing that stronger local policies are both possible and effective in protecting public health. If Lakeport can implement stronger policies, why can't Clear Lake? Next slide, please. Why should we care as community members? Well, youth and vape use affects brain development, increases the risk of addiction, and is shaped by both community norms and policy environments, making it a broader public health issue that impacts schools, families, and long-term community health. If we do not address access and environmental factors, we risk placing blame on students instead of addressing the larger systems that contribute to the problem. From my own experience and what I've seen, people who I've gone to school with since 4th or 5th grade, I've seen that they have a hard time remembering simple stuff that they could have easily answered in 7th grade. Some examples are remembering simple math problems, including subtracting and dividing. Also remembering stuff that was said 30 minutes ago. Years of smoking have damaged their brain and caused them brain fog. Next slide, please. Cannabis might start as a plant, but today's concentrated products, all vapes, are created in a lab, and there's nothing natural about them. If you smoke an entire joint by yourself in the 1980s, you might get 5 milligrams of THC total. If you take a dab today, it could be 250 milligrams or the equivalent of 30 to 50 joints. Strengthening local policies, improving product regulations, and increasing awareness through health warnings can help reduce youth access and prevent harmful substance use in our community. Here are our proposed solutions. Health warnings posted in store or handed out, prohibited on-site consumption, limit therapeutic or health claims, restrict high potency products as they interfere with healthy brain development, enforce existing policy. Products should not imitate any package used for products typically marketed towards children. Any cannabis product in or imprinted with a shape, either realistic or caricature of a human being, animal, insect, or fruit. Example of products: Emerald Sky peanut butter cups and fruit strawberry gummies. At the very least, Clear Lake should have local policies that match Lakeport. The limiting high potency products is important due to the developing brain and because of the data from slide 3 that our peers gathered last year. 88% of students seen peers smoking at school. 70% of students were offered a vape on campus. And our data from this year, 46.8% of students reported lifetime use, 24.4% past month use, and 17.9% past week use. Vapes are discreet and have high THC levels, and I am seeing firsthand the damage it's causing. Next slide, please. These are the references we used for our presentation. Next slide, please. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say, so the scorecards are from Getting It Right from the start.org, which is sponsored by the Public Health Institute, where their main goal is to use scientific research to identify and advocate for cannabis policy and advances public health and equity, prioritizing groups vulnerable to harm, such as our youth. The enforcement policy section came directly from the California's Department of Cannabis Control. And that's pretty much all I wanted to share about. This is their presentation. I mean, we worked in coordination with them, but as the last student shared, she's seen people on campus using vapes daily, forgetting things, right? And we understand that the cannabis industry or the local dispensaries are doing their job. I know that they're, most of them are actually, not letting kids come in and buy vapes, right? And that's not what's happening, right? It's more of these kids are getting the high doses of vape pens, right? They're utilizing vape pens because they're more discreet. If you talk to teachers at these campuses, these kids are hitting vapes during classrooms. Anecdotal stories are saying one kid shared that while we were collecting the data, that he only smokes weed at school. And so his parents wouldn't allow him to do it at home, right? But he has access to vapes at school. And so we understand that some of these policies that are probably not going to be passed, but at the very least, we would at least encourage to have the same exact policies as Lakeport, whatever they have passed on that scorecard. And again, I have more information on the scorecard, what their methodology is, how they came up with those things. If anybody wants them, I can email them. But yeah, these are the kids. They did the survey. They went and booked it. They took 4 weeks, almost a month collecting the survey data. It was really, really hard for them. So we appreciate the time, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you. It seems like we have some work to do here. Thank you.
Yes, it does.
All right, we'll move on to item number 4, presentation of a proclamation declaring May 16th to 22nd, 26 as Safe Boating Week. National Safe Boating Week, May 16th to May 22nd, 2026. Whereas National Safe Boating Week is observed to bring attention to important life-saving information for recreational boaters so they can have a safer and more enjoyable experience out on the water throughout the year. And whereas Lake County Flotilla has continued to provide free life jackets to youngsters by participating in community activities, which promotes child safety and educating the boating public in safe boating practices. And whereas Flotilla 0808 of Lake County will continue its effort to educate the boating public by resuming safety patrols, free vessel safety checks, and encouraging the public to practice safe boating habits and to wear your life jackets. Now for there be resolved that the City Council of the City of Clear Lake does hereby designate the week of May 16th through May 22nd, 2026 as National Safe Boating Week in Clear Lake and urges all users of Clear Lake, Lake Pillsbury, Blue Lake, and Indian Valley Reservoir to safeguard their lives by wearing life jackets when boating and exercising safe boating practices. Signed by me. Wear your life jackets, and this weekend probably is a good time to start. We have some people from the Portela here to accept confirmation.
Well, this is National Safe Boating Week. This is done nationwide. Our flotilla, the Coast Guard Auxiliary has been in existence since 1939. There's approximately 30,000 volunteers across the nation that belong to the Coast Guard Auxiliary. We've been here in Lake County more than 40 years. And a lot of the time we try to do boating safety patrols on the lake when we have vessels available. We work in association with the Sheriff's Department if they have an issue that they need some help, perimeter control for an event, or search and rescue, which we've done many times. It's good organization. Obviously, we're looking for new members. Presently, we have 26 auxiliarists in our flotilla. And as you mentioned earlier about the life jacket program, I think it was in 2015 or 2005, I guess it was, a young child was lost their life on the lake. And that prompted us to try to do something about that situation. So we established what we call our life jacket giveaway program. We try to get donations and other funds to purchase life jackets. And then we set up different events throughout the year to present these jackets. The next one actually is going to be this Saturday. We have targeted the Hidden Valley Lake area, and we will be individually fitting the children with a life jacket, giving boating safety information to their parent. The parent has to be involved with this. And so far, we estimate that in the lifetime, we've given out more than 2,000 life jackets to children of Lake County over these years. And hopefully we've saved some lives. Unfortunately, we can't determine that. We don't really get any feedback on this issue, but it's a good program, and it's one that that we can do without having to set up operations out on the lake and so forth. So we can do it as a public service. So that's who we are, and that's what we do.
Thank you. I have one question. Since we have now this boating license, you guys check for that too?
We do not. We are not law enforcement. We work hand in hand with the Coast Guard. The main goal is boating safety, to promote that on the coast as well as the nation's inland waterways. So we just do more like promoting boating safety to the public and getting them to understand that there's a reason for a life jacket. It's to save a life, and they do work. And we hope that all kids and adults, when you get out on that lake, put your life jacket on, because you never know when something's going to happen.
Right, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll go to item number 5. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, Kevin. We know now a presentation by the Lake County Recreation Agency. Brandon, you want to come up?
That'd be great. Thank you. Good evening. Mayor Slutin, members of the council, city staff, and members of the public. My name is Brandon Disney. I am currently serving as the mayor of the city of Lakeport. Also, for the purpose of this presentation, the chairman of the board for the Lake County Recreation Agency. So thank you for having me tonight. First off, before I get into the slides is one reason we're doing this presentation. The Lake County Recreation Agency, or Lake Rec, has not given an update to the jurisdiction since it was formed back in 2023. We felt like let's give it a few years, get our feet under us, and then go around and actually tell everyone what we've been up to. So that's my goal here tonight, is to give you guys an update on what Lake Rec has been up to. You are the final stop on my tour. A couple weeks ago was the city of Lakeport, which Mayor Slutin was generous enough to come to that one. A couple days ago, I presented to the county of Lake, and saving the best for last here with you guys. So Lake County Recreation Agency, Lake Rec, our goal is to strengthen partnerships and strengthen recreation opportunities. It's a collaboration between Lake County, Lakeport, and the city of Clear Lake. And we focus on regional scale recreation planning and investment. Why was Lake Rec created? Well, first it was started at the staff level. Back in 2021, city, county, both cities and the county staff got together, identified a need for more recreation opportunities within Lake County. Specifically, the original was to build a rec center in the city of Clear Lake and to have a pool back in the city of Lakeport. Those are our two keystone projects that we haven't lost sight of. As you guys are well aware, costs only seem to go up on any project that we embark on. Those facilities would be a part of that. But that is still what I see as the chair is, excuse me, as our two main projects, our main goals. That's what we strive to achieve, although it takes a while. So it was started at a staff level. We had some feasibility studies done. We had polling done in 2021 and actually two phases of feasibility studies for those facilities that I mentioned. In 2023, staff kind of went, okay, this is getting a little bit above just a handshake kind of agreement with staff to work together towards recreation. Let's make this thing legit. We formed the Joint Powers Authority, the JPA, with all three of those jurisdictions participating in. We found that there's countywide recreation facility gaps. That planning effort in 2021 and 23 is what I just talked about. During that time, we did some polling, and we found that 87% of voters support more recreation funding. And there is a need for regional coordination and funding structure. They supported more funding, which I think most people would say, yeah, we need more funding, but it's as soon as you say, okay, how do we get that funding, that people aren't so sure about. So that needs assessment and feasibility studies were done. We've got just some images here. We do have those full studies. 2023 was a little while ago, especially as far as capital improvement costs go. But we do have those studies, which can be shared, I'm sure, from your city manager. That JPA structure, it's a 7-member board. We have 2 per jurisdiction. So the city of Clear Lake, Mayor Slutin serves as the vice chair of the board. And we also have your vice mayor on the board as well. For the city of Lakeport, we have myself and Councilmember Costa. The county of Lake is Supervisors Pyska and Owen. And then Don Smith is our member at large. He's the 7th on that board. His day job is with Adventist Health.
but he's also involved in, I think he's right now the president of the Lake County Chamber of Commerce. And relating to recreation, he's currently on the board for the RTA, the Redwood Trail Alliance, which is proven to be really informative for the Recreation Board. I won't read out our purpose and vision, although it did take a little bit for us to actually get those down on paper and to agree exactly how we were going to have our purpose and our vision written. But really the essence of it is that Lake Rec, although we don't have very many concrete projects that we can point to, we have really had a great success with the synergy and the collaboration that this JPA has brought between representatives from the city of Clear Lake, the city of Lakeport, the county, everybody bringing focus to recreation has really proved to be instrumental. When this board was first formed, the county representatives joked that they have a rec department, which is nowhere near the city of Clear Lake's recreation department, but the county joked that they had parks and clogs because at the time they only had a clogging class. And I believe it was in Middletown, no other sort of recreation. Since then, I would like to say that it's directly attributed to this agency, the JPA, but through that synergy, through discussions, the county at least has been able to have more summer camps for kids, which we're all just trying to follow in the wake of Clear Lake as far as summer camps and recreation for kids go. But the county has had summer camps. We've had the race to the top of Mount Konocti. So starting just from parks and clogs countywide to where we are now in 2026, I would say that recreation opportunities for the whole county has grown exponentially. And this is all just through our synergy. This is not with any sort of funding that goes directly to Lake Rec. The objectives is to expand regional recreation programming and access, pursue actionable planning and funding solutions to develop the Burns Valley Recreation Center and the Westside Aquatic Center as our signature community recreation assets, and build organizational capacity and sustainability. All three of these objectives have many more sub-objectives that are a little more attainable. Seeing these on the screen, they are big keystone projects. There's a lot that we are trying to accomplish with little to no funding and just relying on both cities and county staff time to help the JPA. So all three of these do get a little more into detail, which we can share with you guys at a later date. I try not to just read paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs off a slide. Our priority projects right up there is the Burns Valley Recreation Center, Westside Aquatic Center. I keep saying it and I will keep saying it. Mayor Sluten knows on the board, I am not letting those two keystone projects go. There may be a little ways off, but they will get accomplished one day. The Mount Konocti Trail System is a little more of the low-hanging fruit. Carving a trail is a whole lot easier than building a recreation center or digging a pool. And the regional programming and events are probably the most attainable. The city of Clear Lake has really shown that. You have a recreation coordinator, you have facilities, you get kids in there, you get adults in there, and you activate the space. That's one thing that we're certainly missing in the city of Lakeport is we have some great parks. The county-wide has some great parks, but we need that activation. We need coordinators to put those parks to use, to put the trails to use. Regionally, our advancements, like I said, the synergy is really a huge part of this board. The other thing is the county now has done recreation camps. They have a coordinator and park improvements. The city of Clear Lake programming expansion, that rec program that you guys have is incredible, and sports complex design. The city of Lakeport, we've got a trail park partnership. Our Westside Community Park is working on some trail expansion for us, as well as facility management through the Lake County Arts Council. So we are making small little incremental advances. One thing that I've learned with my time on the council for Lakeport is nothing is ever as fast as you want it to go. Everything tends to move pretty slow, but as long as you can see that you are making those little gains, it will make it worth it in the end. The Lake Rec has some definite gaps, some definite needs. We have no dedicated funding source. We have very limited staffing capacity. Right now, the staff that is assigned to Lake Rec is both city managers and the public works director at the county. We don't have any lower staff that is able to, there are a little bit with city support, but nobody dedicated solely to recreation countywide. And we need a regional coordination support. Another thing that I've learned at my time on the council, which I'm sure you guys could attest to, is citizens in the area, they don't know where the city limit boundary is. They don't know where your jurisdiction ends, county jurisdiction starts. People don't really care if they live in Kelseyville, they would drive to Clear Lake gladly for recreation. If they live in Lucerne, they would gladly drive to Lakeport. That regional coordination and support is really what Lake Rec focuses on, is countywide. What can we do for our citizens? So there is a value in recreation investment when it comes to paving roads. You know, that is a definitive, the road was bad, now the road is good. Putting in more recreation opportunities isn't as concrete as that. But it improves the community health. It really supports youth development. It boosts tourism and economy and enhances the quality of life for the residents of Lake County. So the next steps is, I've said it many times and I'll keep saying it, we want to advance the recreation centers. We want to advance the aquatic centers. We want to develop our regional trail network, and we want to position ourselves for grant funding opportunities. Once we start to talk more recreation, the question always comes up, rightfully so, is how are you going to pay for all this? And at the time, we don't have any dedicated funding. Using that synergy is really all we have to operate off of. And we have made such huge strides countywide with recreation solely on synergy. So a little bit of funding would go a long way for Lake Rec. We are making our rounds here right around budget time. I mean, keep recreation. Like I've said, the city of Clear Lake does a great job with their rec program. But countywide, keep Lake Rec in mind. This is not in any way a sales pitch. This is an update as to what Lake Rec has been up to. But a moderate investment can really accelerate regional progress for recreation in Lake County. And the goal here tonight with my presentation, like I said at the start, is just to give your council an update. Since we formed in 2023, we have not made an update. I want to, like the PEG TV, come around annually as we are taking time of your council members and time of your staff to give you the update, let you know how Lake Rec is going, how we're progressing. But that was the big goal tonight, and to get your feedback, being that this is the first time that Lake Rec has presented to both cities in the county. The feedback that you guys could provide is really the value part of this presentation. So that's all I've got for you tonight, and I would welcome any questions.
Any questions from Brandon?
Not at this time, Brandon, but I'll certainly.
You guys know how to contact me.
I think
How to get a hold of you.
I think the collaboration with the Redwood Trail Alliance is really starting to take space up on Mount Conocta. I mean, they're starting to lay out some more trails, and they have the volunteer network to help out with constructing those trails. So that's, like you said, one of the low hanging fruits that we are accomplishing.
Yeah.
Who's doing the actual?
Actually, they have lots of volunteers, the Redwood Trail Alliance, and they have some funding too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of that, I wouldn't say a lot of it, but our member of our board, Don Smith with Adventist Health, became a member of the Lake Rec board, And then after, as we start talking more about trails and the low hanging fruit, he went, oh yeah, we've got this thing I've heard, RTA, the Redwood Trail Alliance, maybe I'll reach out. Turns out they have a dedicated board seat for Lake County on their board that has been vacant for years. So it's through Lake Rec, through this discussion about how to get more recreation opportunities, that he went to seek out that seat on the board, got it, and now he's bringing the resources back to Lake County.
Also, I want to mention our city manager worked on those trails years and years ago too.
That's
So we
true.
have some background to that too.
Yeah, all the legwork is done. We just gotta get the volunteers out there and get the trails cut.
Thanks.
It's all handwork on the cutting.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay.
Appreciate it,
Yeah,
Mr. Mayor of Lakeport.
thank
Thank you
you.
very much, Brandon.
Yes, let
Thank
me
you.
know if you guys have anything you want to add in later on.
All right, Brandon. Appreciate it. Okay, we go now to public comment. This is the time of any member of the public to address city council, any matter not on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. The Brown Act, with limited exceptions, does not allow the council to discuss issues brought before under public comment. Council cannot take action on non-agenda items. Concerns may be referred to staff or placed on a future agenda. Please note that comments from the public will also be taken on each agenda item. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Council cannot answer questions or provide comments while a citizen is giving their public comment. Once your comments are complete, the mayor may refer you to staff for follow-up. You have one person, Mr. Crystal Pack, please.
Good evening. My name is Crystal Pack. I'm here tonight as an attorney in fact for Trudy Brooks. If you go to the City of Clear Lake's official website, there's a prominent page dedicated entirely to transparency. On that page, this administration boasts about open government, public trust, accountability, and accessibility as your guiding core values. I am standing before you tonight to expose the transparency page as a complete administrative deception. What this city publishes as its core value is nothing but a public relations front to mask a localized operation of systemic retaliation, administrative fraud, and the direct violation of constitutional rights. True transparency is not a marketing tab on a website. It is a legal obligation. Yet the moment this city's actual operations are subject to verifiable public scrutiny, your transparency completely vanishes and is replaced by structural stonewalling. Your public transparency claims are thoroughly dismantled by the physical evidence currently in my possession by directly comparing a physical 2023 copy of an official officer log entry against the newly produced 2026 version of that same exact record. There's a severe mismatch. This direct document comparison reveals a definite, undeniable forensic footprint of data manipulation inside the City of Clear Lake's tracking database. In June of 2021, when I stood at the gate and lawfully invoked my Fourth Amendment by refusing a warrantless entry, your police officers and code enforcement officers maliciously opened a brand new case, completely overriding the fact that the initial case had already been closed just to weaponize a duplicate file as a workaround to target us because your officers think I have something to hide. Let me be exceptionally clear. I have absolutely nothing to hide, but what I do and how I choose to live on my own private property is absolutely none of your business. Exercising my constitutional right to privacy is not a confession of guilt, and I am under no legal obligation to open my doors to satisfy your administrative curiosity. There was never a question of the property passing the building inspection in March of 22. The case narrative should have reflected this, but the files should have been closed right then. Instead, this is when officers began manipulating the records, manufacturing a new violation, executing a complete failure of due process to keep a multi-year campaign of harassment moving. They intentionally sent letters to different addresses across multiple cases, used outsourced certified mail, and even began questioning the validity of the building inspection itself. Their log notes are a chaotic, contradictory mess, jumping back and forth to claim that I'm questioning a building department sticker they want to inspect. Let's be completely clear. The green tag was signed, the sticker is on my box, and I was physically standing there when the inspection happened.
Thank you now.
I'll be back next time to finish that.
Okay, anybody else in the public that wants to speak? If not, is there anybody on Zoom, ma'am, that has a question?
There are no comments on the Zoom, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, we'll move now to the consent calendar. Anybody wants to comment on the consent calendar? From the public, anybody wants to comment on that? If not, bring it back to the council. And the council wants to pull an item? If
Sure.
not, can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Okay, we go to item number 11.
Motion passes with unanimous vote of the council.
Since item 10 was removed from the agenda, we'll go not item number 11. This is better. Is this Public Works Director's presentation?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight, the City Council is being asked to adopt Resolution 2026-16, establishing a Vision Zero framework to guide future traffic safety planning and investment. Vision Zero is a traffic safety strategy recognizing that traffic fatalities and serious injuries are preventable. This framework emphasizes the responsibility for roadway safety and is shared among roadway designers, enforcement agencies, emergency responders, and roadway users. This framework prioritizes safety measures that reduce the severity of traffic collisions and has since been adopted by communities throughout the United States as an approach to roadway safety. The city continues to experience roadway safety concerns involving speeding, distracted driving, pedestrian conflicts, bicyclist safety, and aging infrastructure. Adoption of this Vision Zero framework would establish policy direction focused on improving transportation safety for all users, including pedestrians, bicyclists, motorists, seniors, children, and persons with disabilities. This resolution does not commit the city to immediate expenditures, but rather establishes policy framework that will guide future planning efforts and funding opportunities. Many state and federal transportation grant programs prioritize agencies that have formally adopted roadway safety initiatives such as Vision Zero. Looking for adoption of resolution 2026-16.
Any questions from council? No. Any, open a public hearing. Anybody from the public wants to comment on this? Anybody on Zoom, Madam Clerk?
There are no comments on the Zoom, Mr. Mayor.
Bring it back to the council. Somebody wants to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-16. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Clear Lake adopting a Vision Zero policy framework and goal. And put it on by title only.
All right, we have a motion. A second. We have a motion and a second. To the second part of this, I presume is this.
Motion passes with unanimous vote of the council.
Go to item number 12. Approval of a resolution 2615 endorsing the Lakeshore Drive Safety Enhancement Project, committing to Vision Zero principles and authorizing the application and commitment of matching funds to the U.S. Department of Transportation Safe Streets and Roads for All grants. Mr. Flora.
Yeah, Director Label will do this. Just give us 1 second so I can put the resolution wasn't included on the agenda, so I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can see it. Are you able to see it in your portal, the resolution? Was-
Can't find it. You want to just put it up on the screen? Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you. Tonight, the city council is being asked to approve resolution 2026-15, reaffirming the city's commitment to roadway safety and authorizing submission of a Safe Streets and Roads for All SS4A implementation grant application to the U.S. Department of Transportation for the Lakeshore Drive and Safety Enhancement Project with a federal funding request of approximately $16,080,000 and a federal and a non-federal local match commitment of approximately $4,020,000. The city of Clear Lake is submitting a grant application. The application requests federal funding to support the Lakeshore Drive Enhancement Project, a comprehensive corridor reconstruction along approximately 1 mile of the city's most critical commercial, transit, and pedestrian corridor. Adoption of the resolution formally authorized submission of the application, reaffirms the city's commitments as established by the local road safety plan, and commits the city to the non-federal local match obligation. No general fund expenditure is contemplated by this action. This commitment becomes operative only if the application is awarded. Specific match funding sources will be finalized through subsequent city council budget actions prior to agreement execution. Recent years, the city did submit an application twice through the Clean California Local Grant Program, addressing the same corridor, and another one in 2024 through Safe Streets and Roads for All. The city was not successful, and this current application incorporates lessons learned from prior reviews, updated crash data through 2023, and the refined project area boundary. This project addresses documented crash patterns, coordinated with Federal Highway Administration proven safety countermeasures along the 1 mile project corridor from State 53, Old Highway 53, approximately 300 feet north of Olympic Drive. Some of these improvements include pedestrian hybrid beacon at Lakeshore Drive and Old 53, rectangular rapid flashing beacons at mid-corridor pedestrian crossings, continuous LED corridor lighting, sidewalk infill and ADA compliant curb ramps, bike lanes, and transit stop improvements at Lake Transit Authority boarding locations. Staff is looking for motion to adopt resolution 2026-15.
Do you have any questions from staff on this?
You said matching, we have the matching funds, it's not come out of general.
Well, we don't have all the matching funds. No, this requires a 20% match. Of course, we wouldn't be putting general fund dollars towards it. We anticipate STIP funds being a large part of it. So this is the funds through the APC that we had intended to use for the Dam Road roundabout. It would require us reapplying and going through that process, but I think you would agree that we're owed an allocation of those funds, and then we will have some local funds available over the next, this is gonna take a little bit of time. We don't have to have all the money here today. Over the next couple of years that we feel comfortable moving forward, that we'd be able to identify the match.
All right. Thank you.
Open it to public. Anybody from the public wants to comment on this item? If not, is there anybody on Zoom? Clerk?
There are no comments on the Zoom, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, can I entertain a motion?
Yes, as soon as you move that back up to the
Top.
title.
Oh.
All right,
Go ahead.
No?
Resolution 2026-15, endorsing the Lake Shore Drive Safety Enhancement Project, committing to Vision Zero principles and authorizing the application and improvement of matching funds to the Department of Transportation Safe Streets and Roads for All grants.
I second that motion.
We have a second. Go to our portal. All right.
Motion passes with unanimous vote of the council.
Great. We'll go now to city manager's report.
I don't really have too much to report. I was just gonna let the council know. I'm sure you've seen the paving project that's been underway around town the last couple of weeks. Next week is going to be probably the most disruptive. That's when they're gonna be grinding and paving Olympic Drive. They're planning on starting on Tuesday and should finish that work next week. As far as the main paving part of it, and then it'll just be some loose ends to tie up. So project's going well. As I understand, I think we're a little ahead of schedule and a little perhaps under budget. So
We like those.
we do love those.
All right. Councilman Kramer, you have any exciting?
I have nothing exciting to report today.
Okay. Councilman
Nothing
Wilson.
boring.
Nothing boring either? No?
I attended the Lake County Clean Water Program Management Council meeting. There was a discussion about a new software to manage their program that would save about $30,000 a year. They did a presentation on their grant project. Seems like they're going to 268,000 left in their trash grant at the end of the year. And 37,000 for their spill response grant. The amounts that they're billing per year seems to be very low for the amounts that the grants they were awarded, and these grants have to be spent by March 26th. There was a discussion of discharge into the lake. There have been 3 serious discharges into the lake over the last month or so. 67 chlorine tablets were tossed into the lake. Individual dumped herbicide into the lake, which damaged interesting. Discharge into a lake. A gentleman decided to dump a whole aquarium into the lake, and the comment was it was like a thrift store was dropped in. council is doing this work. Standardize, a lot of their outreach, they have, come up with colors and fonts and things so that when you see the brochures, you're gonna say right away that you know it's from clean water program. They have new sheet brochure was proposed that those should be given out at any place where there's any work done. So there was discussion, a public comment about whether or not there was a report that was going to look at the Robin Lane spill as a discharge into the lake. And they said there was an MS4 report that and an incident report at the time with Cal OES and the water board. And that
Right, let's see what I did. Okay, I attended the flag raising on last Tuesday. We attended the APC meeting in Lakeport. I think the only thing I flagged was that with the zero emission vehicle program that I was aware of. I attended the graduation ceremony at the Lake County campus of Woodland College. And I also attended the at the high school, the program that they call A Bite of Reality, which was pretty interesting. So that's it. Nothing more. Do we have any future agenda items that we want to introduce at this point? If not,
I'd like to see a discussion of the research that was presented by Facebook. If there's something we can do about mention. Like,
what? Okay, I tend to agree with that. Anything else? If not, you're adjourned to closed session.